So I just want to say first off that this video will not be edited. It'll be raw. I don't feel like editing, don't want to learn how to edit. This video is mostly for me to just be able to talk about it, and well, you'll know what I'm talking about in a minute. Second of all, don't mind the animals. There's a dog who might walk around. There's a cat over here who is just doing whatever he wants. So this video will be me just talking about my son Mason, and kind of like what we went through with him, and how he passed away, and just kind of like everything that had happened. So first of all, my name's Ashley. Thank you for clicking on my video, and I hope that this video possibly could help someone if they're going through anything like this. I just mostly just kind of want to get it out there, if anything. So alrighty, let's see, I don't even know where to start. So I found out I was pregnant, and I'm gonna get all like confused and stuff, but not confused, but I'm gonna get flustered. Okay, so found out I was pregnant, everything was good, went to my first ultrasound, everything was perfect. You know, we saw a heartbeat, we saw a little nugget, and I want to say it was 12 weeks. It was the day before we were leaving to go on Christmas break to go see my husband's family. Leia, stop. To go visit my husband's family in California. And at that ultrasound, they had noticed he had gastroschisis. If you don't know what that is, it's just where the intestines, Leia, stop, lay down. Gastroschisis is just where the intestines are protruding out of a hole on the baby's abdomen, and intestines are usually what are coming out of it. But in more serious conditions, it could be the intestines and the liver, or even the bladder. But thankfully Mason's was just his intestines. So like I said, we found out at 12 weeks. Leia, go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Yeah, we found out at 12 weeks, and we were obviously, you know, pretty heartbroken to hear the news. We had never heard of this before, and we did not handle it. We were a little confused at first. We weren't sure if, so also, before I mention this, there's another, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. I think it starts with an O, but there's another medical condition where a baby's intestines can be coming out of its stomach, and then it's like in a sac. I don't remember what that's called exactly, but we had kind of thought it was like that. We weren't thinking it was just his intestines, you know. We thought it was like in something. It wasn't just like kind of free floating, you know. So we just kind of like looked it up after we got home, you know. On our way home, we were just kind of like quiet, you know, just kind of like thinking about everything, and just kind of like letting it soak in, basically. So went home and we figured that out, and like I said, it was called gastroschisis. All the doctors had told us that it would be, you know, just a routine surgery, and that this wasn't super rare, but also wasn't, you know, common. So we were thinking that after he was born, maybe like a day or two after he was born, we were just gonna have to have him go into surgery, where they would like slowly put the intestines back into his stomach and just stitch him up, and he'd be good to go. So fast forward to about 32 and a half weeks pregnant, my husband was at work, and I was just at home, and I hadn't felt him move all day. I want to say I had started to get a little nervous around lunchtime, because usually you should feel your baby kick at least 10 times a day, just like feel it move, not kick technically, but like move, do anything, and which is what you would consider kick counts, is what you call them. So I wasn't feeling anything. Like, I don't even think I felt one thing that day. And so they were like, I just kind of looked it up, and they're like, you know, if I call them, all they're going to say is to drink some sugary cold juice, to eat something, to lay on my stomach and just kind of like lay super still and just kind of like see if I can feel anything. Maybe it's just too small of movements that I'm not feeling, you know, if I'm not really paying attention. So, and they said to even like lightly push on your stomach just to get him like if he's asleep, and did all those probably 2 or 3 times, and nothing. So my husband gets home from work, and I didn't text him either during the day because, one, I didn't want to freak him out, and two, I just thought, you know, like, I don't know, I was not wanting to think the worst. So as soon as he got home from work, I told him like, hey babe, like, I don't really think I felt me some move all day. And he obviously was extremely worried and wanted me to go right away, but I was like, no, it's okay, like, I just want to wait a little bit longer. And so of course he let me, and then it was just, I want to say we waited maybe 2 hours and nothing still. So he convinced me to go to the hospital, and so we got there, and, you know, we buzzed in. We had to go up to labor and delivery because I was above 20 weeks. So went up there, buzzed in, told them kind of like what was happening, and they were like, alrighty, we'll admit you. So they put me into a room, and I was just in there waiting for the doctor, and then he came in and he was like, alrighty, well, we're just gonna, they put those like bands around my belly with like the pink and the blue that measure my heartbeat and the baby's heartbeat. And so I think everything was fine then. And then they were like, okay, well, we're gonna do an ultrasound just on your belly. And he had to do like 10 things in 30 minutes, I believe it was. And after like I want to say 20 minutes, the doctor was just kind of like, hey, so he hasn't done anything of the things we've needed him to do, so I'm just gonna kind of go get another doctor and maybe just discuss what's going on. So they did that, and I mean, a lot of this is a blur, not a blur. I just like, I don't remember. So one, I don't remember if he left and then came back in with another doctor, or he had just come back and he was by himself. I'm not sure. But anyway, they put him back on my belly, and the doctor was just like, oh, before this, Rob had gone down to admit me because they were like, okay, well, you know, if he doesn't do this, we're probably going to have to start to induce you and start to get you into go into labor and stuff. And so Rob, my husband, had gone down to like the main hospital floor, I guess, to sign me in and admit me. And so he wasn't with me. And I remember the doctor kind of being like really nervous, and he was like putting him in, and he was like, and then he was just like, already, you're gonna have this baby today. And he said that Mason's heartbeat was just dropping to like 8 and then back to like normal, like 11 back to normal. It was just like his heart rate was dropping really fast and really bad. So he like right after this is kind of where it starts to get crazy, and a lot of it just kind of blurs together, or I don't really remember it the way exactly that it happened. So I remember him pushing this. He was like, you're gonna have this baby today. So many doctors came in, started ripping my clothes off, putting me in a hospital gown. A lady had to stand me up and shove a shot in my butt. They were like giving me IVs in both arms. I remember this lady had like straddled me, spread my legs open, and had to insert a catheter. And like under this was just like imagine like knowing like you just got told you're about to have this baby, and you like you're just going into surgery, and it's just like all these things going on. And so that I think like the most scary part was that Rob wasn't with me, and that was pretty hard. I remember after, like, I remember the lady was still straddling me and she was like trying to take my blood pressure and all this, and so they were wheeling me. It's freezing cold in this hospital. All I have it's freezing cold in this hospital. All I have on is a hospital gown and my bra and underwear, and I think they had left my socks on actually. And so I'm like freezing on this bed trying to understand what all these doctors are saying around me, and like they're all yelling stuff, and the alarm that they had blasted through the whole entire hospital was like code stork, which is an emergency C-section. So that was beeping through the whole hospital, and you know, I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, like where's my husband? Like why isn't he here with me? And I know that it wasn't his fault. Like the doctors had told him to go and admit me. And it's not like he could be in the operating room with me anyway. It was just really devastating. So we got into the OR. It's this, you know, white, cold, bright, sterile room, and this anesthesiologist, he put the sleeping gas mask on my face, and last thing I remember is he said, when you wake up, you're gonna be a mama. And of course that, you know, I was like excited to see my son, and I couldn't wait to hold him, and it was just like a lot of things happening at once. So that is that. And next thing I know, I woke up and I was in this room. I was by myself, and they had said that I did fine. I was fine. I was just like need to lay down, and I was like really thirsty. So I remember I was like, can I have some water? And they like only were gonna give me ice chips or something like that. And I was like, I just want water. So I would wait for the ice to melt and then drink it. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna break this into 2 parts. So yeah, that's the end of part 1. I woke up after my C-section, and this box right here is just kind of all the things we have of him, and I'll explain this more in like the second part. And then this is just a photo album of all the pictures we have of him. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and I will be recording part 2. So thank you so much. Bye.